Welcome back to this episode of 50 Top Remedies. And today's another big remedy that I might have a lot to say about. So today is Rhus tox, which is poison oak. And Rhus tox is wonderful for joint pains. So think of arthritis, rheumatism, sprains, strains, ankle injuries, back injuries, dislocated joints, whiplash, and stiffness of the joints. So think of the rusty gait syndrome, where you are sitting for a long time, or when you get up in the morning, if you're very stiff, you're just stiff all over, and it's hard to get moving, but once you get moving, you feel better. So like the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. Once he was very stiff and he couldn't move, and it was hard to start moving, but then once he started moving, he felt better, right? He could move and dance and do all the things. So that would call for Rhus tox, and I would use it in a 30 or a 200. I would start with 30, and if that's helping but not quite getting it, then do a 200. So I really love Rhus tox for back stiffness and housemaid's knee. So the mama or person who is always on their knees. Okay, so let's think about this. I was gonna say the woman who's always on her knees cleaning, scrubbing, but this could be any person, whether they're cleaning, scrubbing, because the men can clean and scrub on their knees too. But then I started thinking about the men or women, anybody who your work is on your knees. So I'm thinking of landscaping. What else is there? There's got to be tons of other jobs where you're on your knees a lot and your knees get very sore and stiff. So think of Rhus tox. I love to combine Rhus tox with symphytum. So Rhus tox and symphytum mixed together at the same time in the mouth, 200 in each, or symphytum 200 and Rhus tox 30. Or 200 can be combined for that back pain, that stiffness. When I sit too long in a day, then that night, so early in the morning, my back will start hurting really bad. I mean, it's just awful. And I'll have to get up. The only thing that relieves it is to get up and move, and I'm just up for the day. And if I take some vitamin Rhus tox at that point when it's gotten that far, sometimes it'll help a little bit, but not enough for me to actually go back to bed and go back to sleep. And I'm not talking like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. I'm talking like 5, and it's okay to get up at 5. That's a reasonable time. But if I've sat all day and I take Rhus tox and symphytum before I go to bed, because I know that I've sat too much that day, then it helps me to stay painless and sleep, as long as I want to. So that's a really awesome one to use. If you have any sharp shooting pains, like with sciatica, so Rhus tox can be used for sciatica, but I would add hypericum. I would mix those two together and add hypericum and symphytum. So I really love hypericum, symphytum, and Rhus tox all mixed together. I know that you can't see the name of this probably, but this is a Banerjee, or I don't know if it's a Banerjee protocol, but this comes from OHM. If you have access to the OHM pharmacy, then you can get these combined. I don't know if that's showing up good or not. You can get any remedies that you want to combined into one bottle, and it's amazing. So then you can just take this rather than 1, 2, 3, and it's wonderful. If you don't have access to OHM, you can gain access by taking one of my classes. So one of my gateway classes, or a study group like one of Joette Calabrese's big classes, like Good Gut, Bad Gut, and those other ones that she has. I do study groups, and then you can gain access to OHM pharmacy and get combination remedies already made. So that's also very amazing. All right, so back to Rhus tox. Poison ivy, poison oak, fever blisters, herpes zoster, allergies, rashes, urticaria, hives, acne, rosacea, fevers, flu, tendinitis, sore throat, hoarseness, and stiff neck. Okay, so when I said poison ivy, poison oak, yes, Rhus tox can absolutely be used in an acute, you go out into the woods or whatever out in your yard and you get poison ivy. You can use Rhus tox, but I would use anacardium first. That would be my go-to for just an instance of poison ivy. I would use anacardium, but and that's anacardium oriental because I think there's more than one anacardium. But if you consistently, constantly, every summer, all summer long, keep getting poison ivy, keep getting it, then you would take Rhus tox chronically. So you would take it twice a day, like a 30C twice a day for months before that season comes up. And it can uproot that condition of you actually being very susceptible to getting poison ivy. I've seen this firsthand. My husband used to get it every single summer. I mean, so bad. There was one time where I thought we were going to have to go to the emergency room because he had it from head to toe, and it was really bad. And he would get it bad every summer, but that one time was really awful. And so that at that point, when he got it every summer, it was something he'd been doing for years before I knew him. So I didn't think anything of it. Oh, darn, we have poison ivy. He's got poison ivy again. He always worried about me getting it, by sleeping in the bed with me. But I never did. I never got it from him once. He kept telling me, you could, the oils, if any of the oils are still left on my tools or on my clothes or anything, you could get it. And I never got it. I haven't had poison ivy since I was a kid. But anyway, he was very susceptible to it. And we did Rhus tox in this way, and he has never gotten it again. He does the same job. He's done the same job for 30 years. He hasn't gotten it again. So super amazing in that. So I hope this has blessed you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please come join me in a class. Learn more about these remedies. Come join me in my mentorship program. Let me teach your kids how to use homeopathy and all about homeopathy and why we get sick. Go to my website to learn all about the classes that I'm currently offering and what's coming up, melissacrenshaw.com. I hope to see you soon.